Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And welcome again to our program. We're talking again about travel insurance. Now, remember, last time we had a conversation between the host of a radio program, and he was interviewing Phoebe Kim, who is a traveler who's been to over 30 countries, so she knows a thing or two about travel insurance, and she had some valuable advice for us regarding travel insurance. Well, if you do consider getting travel insurance, you might want to look for some information. So we've got kind of a flyer here, a brochure, maybe what's also called a prospectus in insurance terms. It's basically something that tells you all about the policy so that you know what you're getting, how much you need to pay, what the policy covers, etc.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some of their coverage, how much money they offer in insurance protection, and some of the rules, I guess, because they're not going to cover everything, and you need to be aware of that before you pay for that policy, which can be expensive depending on what you need. But right now, as we always do, we're going to listen quickly to our lesson, and then we'll be back to take a closer look at these things. Planning a trip? Guarantee peace of mind with TravelSafe insurance. Our TravelSafe Plus plan offers extensive coverage for unforeseen events, allowing you to enjoy your travels worry-free. Coverage includes accidental death and dismemberment, up to 15 million NT dollars in financial protection for severe accidents resulting in death or permanent disability. Medical treatment, coverage for unexpected medical expenses from illnesses or injuries abroad, excluding epidemics, plus transportation if evacuation to a medical facility is necessary. Trip cancellation, reimbursement for non-refundable expenses due to specified situations like a relative's death. Flight delay, compensation of at least 5,000 NT dollars for every 4-hour delay, up to 2 claims per insurance period. Baggage delay or loss, compensation for checked baggage delayed over 6 hours. Additionally, you'll receive at least 8,000 NT dollars for stolen or snatched baggage. Loss of travel documents, up to 6,000 NT dollars for lost or stolen travel documents like passports and visas. Additional information. For detailed coverage and specific exclusions, please consult the policy terms and conditions. Plan cost. TravelSafe Plus is tailored to meet your specific travel needs. Prices start at just 859 NT dollars per person for a 5-day international trip, based on the minimum coverage amount for this plan. Costs vary by destination, trip length, and selected add-ons. 24-hour online enrollment. Sign up for TravelSafe insurance quickly and conveniently online, anytime, anywhere. Get a quote and secure your coverage within minutes through our website.
Okay, so in today's article, you want to secure your journey with TravelSafe insurance. Okay, again, this is an insurance company that we just made up for the purpose of our lesson. It's called TravelSafe, and this is a particular policy that we are reading about. Again, it's probably a brochure or a flyer or whatever regarding this particular insurance company. Especially, it's regarding travel insurance. So we introduced the topic here, planning a trip. Are you planning to go somewhere? Guarantee peace of mind with TravelSafe insurance. So here we've got the word guarantee. That just means to make sure something is the case, to leave out any doubts at all. You can have peace of mind. You can relax. You don't need to worry if you get TravelSafe. And here, guarantee is being used as a verb. Guarantee yourself or give yourself a kind of guarantee to give yourself peace of mind if you have TravelSafe insurance.
You can also just say, hey, I guarantee you're going to have fun at my party tonight. So you're making a really strong promise to someone that something will happen. So here you want to kind of guarantee your own peace of mind so you don't worry. When I was younger, I think I was 19 when I took my first big trip abroad, but I lost all of my traveler's checks. They were stolen.
Oh, no.
When I was in France, of course. And I didn't have any travel insurance. You don't think about those things when you're a kid. So, yeah, there are things that you need to consider before you actually get on that plane and go somewhere. Or maybe you're getting on a big ship. I don't know. Maybe you're going on a cruise. But you want to have some peace of mind so you fully enjoy your time as you travel and you don't have to worry about getting sick or having delays. Or maybe there's some sort of terrorist attack. We don't know in this world what's going to happen. So it's always better to plan ahead and protect yourself. Now, this TravelSafe Plus plan, this is the name of their particular plan. It offers extensive coverage. Extensive means it extends or covers a lot more things than you expect. It extends the coverage for unforeseen. Unforeseen means you would never have imagined these things to happen. To foresee something means to see them before they happen, to foresee into the future. That's like what do you call those ladies who look into crystal balls?
Fortune tellers.
Yeah, kind of like that. They supposedly foresee the future. Well, these are unforeseen events, things you never would have imagined happening. And if you get that peace of mind with travel insurance, it allows you to enjoy your travels worry-free, which sounds great.
Yep, lots of things could happen. You might get run over by a bus. You might get attacked by a wild cat or whatever. You might get food poisoning. So these are all unforeseen events, and this policy offers extensive coverage. It covers lots of similar situations, and therefore you'll be allowed to enjoy your travels worry-free. So you won't need to worry about getting in trouble. If you do get in trouble, everything will be covered by this particular policy. But we need to have some details here. The coverage includes, and we've got various bullet points here, so let's talk about them one at a time. The first one is accidental death and dismemberment. Okay, so if you die accidentally, you might want to have some money for your family or whatever to deal with your passing. And dismemberment could actually refer to the fact that you had your arm cut off or your leg cut off, but I think here it just refers to some kind of injury.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awful, though. To dismember a body is when they take a dead body and they cut it up into pieces. Ugh. Dismember or dismemberment. Here, you'd think of it just as some sort of injury that causes you permanent disability, meaning you can't recover from it. Maybe you hurt your leg so badly that you'll always have a limp. It won't be easy for you to get around. So, yeah, they offer up to 15 million NT dollars in financial protection. Of course, financial just refers to money. Accidental means, wow, it wasn't expected. You didn't plan on it. Accidental death. So, yeah, this is the most important offering I think that they have is this one, accidental death and dismemberment. I got travel insurance for the first time a couple of years ago because I didn't want my family to have to worry about paying for me if something happened to me while I was traveling. So, yeah, there are good reasons to get insurance, and protecting your extended family is one of them.
Right, so you might have severe accidents, and of course you could die from that. So, of course, you want some money for your family. And again, you might have a permanent disability. Maybe you were attacked by a deer in Nara, Japan, and you ended up having a permanent disability as a result of that.
Did they attack you?
Well, sometimes they do kind of butt into you, so I can imagine at some point they might actually cause injury.
They get aggressive then, huh?
Right, and of course there are different kinds of situations in different countries that could produce injury. Maybe you're attacked by a polar bear in Canada.
Hey, maybe a volcano erupts.
Could be. You could be in the Philippines when Mount Pinatubo erupts again.
Yeah.
I hope I said that right. But in any case here, that's one thing you don't have to worry about there. You'll have accidental death and dismemberment coverage. Here's the second bullet point. It says medical treatment. Okay, so you're going to have coverage for unexpected medical expenses from illnesses or injuries abroad, excluding epidemics, plus transportation if evacuation to a medical facility is necessary. So you get coverage if you have an accident and you need to go to the hospital or to the emergency room to have treatment. Again, you might have illnesses which are caused maybe by eating the local food. You might get food poisoning. There may be some other things that could happen as well, some sort of infection or whatever. And this does exclude epidemics, though. So if you are there and you get COVID, well, that's too bad. This particular policy is not going to cover that. And also, you may have been involved in some sort of accident that requires transportation to a hospital. And that, of course, means you're going to be taken there in an ambulance. So here we're talking about evacuation to medical facility. Now, evacuation is when you move out of a dangerous situation to a safe one. So in this particular case, you're leaving the scene of the accident and you're going to the hospital so that you can be treated.
Right. Maybe you have to be flown out on an air-vac helicopter, which means a helicopter that evacuates very seriously injured people and gets them to a hospital quicker. That's not cheap. That's really expensive. Now, the third one is trip cancellation. If you cancel something, you stop it from happening. You'd already previously arranged something, you stop it from happening. You can cancel an order for goods or services by just telling the person or organization that you ordered from that you no longer wish to receive that. Here, reimbursement means you're being paid back for money that you already put out. So out-of-pocket expenses, we'll often talk about that. You're reimbursed or paid back for non-refundable expenses due to specified situations. Maybe a relative in your family passed away. If something's refundable, it means you can get your money back based on their policy. Be careful. You need to read the small print, which is in a contract to know if something's refundable or not. Non-refundable means they will not pay you back no matter what.
Right, and that oftentimes happens when you make a reservation for a flight overseas. This ticket is non-refundable, so don't even think about canceling your trip and getting your money back. But sometimes, of course, you do need to cancel your trip for various reasons. I was planning to go to Canada to have a vacation, but suddenly my Uncle Chet died, and we need to stay home and arrange the funeral and things like that. I have to cancel my trip. So this insurance policy will cover such an expense.
And moving on to the next one, flight delay. Oh, that happens all the time. Notice there are limitations in this one. Compensation. Compensation is when you're rewarded usually with money for something that happened to you. So they're compensating you for loss, for injury, for suffering. That's compensation. So it's typically money that's given to you. So compensation of at least 5,000 NT dollars for every 4-hour delay. So if your flight was delayed 8 hours, you would get, 10,000 NT dollars. So, but here it says, here's the limitation. Up to 2 claims per insurance period, which means you're not going to be able to keep claiming that you need compensation for flight delays every time your flight is delayed. Nowadays, flights are delayed almost without exception. So good luck with that one.
Right. I was delayed on a flight from San Francisco to Taipei one time, and yes, it was longer than 4 hours. So maybe if I had bought this insurance policy, I would have received 5,000 NT dollars in compensation from the insurance company.
It's so hard to get that money back, though.
It'd be you'd probably have to jump all sorts of hurdles and make all sorts of phone calls.
Takes hours.
They'll give you the runaround and things like that, so it's probably not even worth the hassle. Just enjoy your layover in the airport. They've got restaurants and you can play with your phone or whatever.
They used to give us vouchers for hotel rooms so we could stay overnight for free. That doesn't happen anymore.
They don't have that kind of money anymore. So there's the flight delay compensation for you. The next bullet point is baggage delay or loss. Okay, this probably happens to pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Baggage delay means the baggage does not arrive with you. This has happened to me a couple of times because every time I fly from Taipei to Des Moines, our connections are always really, really tight. Like we have to make a connection in San Francisco and then in Denver. And I just kind of have trouble imagining that all the suitcases can actually keep up with us. And so on a couple occasions, the suitcase just simply did not get on the flight and it came the next day. And supposedly this insurance policy will give you some money for that inconvenience.
I have to be honest, Tom, when I schedule flights now, I make sure there's a long period of time so that my luggage can get on the next flight. It's a pain when your baggage is lost or delayed. If you're on a trip, it kind of messes up the first couple of days. It's just a mess. So, yeah, I try not to get those tight connections, which means there's very little time between the time you get off a plane and have to board the next flight, especially if you have to run through the airport. I hate that. And our airports seem to be forcing us to walk further and further away. It's just...
Yeah, that connection in San Francisco is a
bad.
nightmare. You have to get off the gate for the domestic flight. And
go
then
to
you
a
have
different wing.
Yeah, you have to go to the international wing, and you have to go through customs and all that stuff. Oh, that's terrible. I hate traveling. I wish I didn't have to do it.
Me
Train
too.
travel is so much more fun. I love the high-speed rail here in Taiwan. You just get on and get off.
They're great, yeah.
And you're good to go. Okay, so that's coverage for baggage delay or loss of baggage. Here's the next bullet point. It's all about loss of travel documents. Okay, so when you're traveling, you're bringing along some documents. Usually that refers to your passport, but there could be other documents that you're bringing with you. And, of course, you have to keep track of all those documents when you're going from place to place. And sometimes we're a little bit careless and we might lose them, or somebody might steal them. You might run into a pickpocket or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is coverage in case you lost your passport or other kinds of travel documents.
That's a big deal if you lose your passport, guys. Be very, very careful. I've started carrying a copy of my passport, so at least I'll have all my information. I can show them visually. You'll still have a mess trying to get your passport replaced. But yeah, make sure you're really careful about that. Keep those documents, keep your passport really close to your body, somewhere that is not zippable. Sometimes I put a little pouch inside my blouse, inside my shirt, so that depending on where I am, there are countries where they have really good pickpockets, people that are very highly trained in getting your attention away from your documents or what you need to be protecting, and they'll go in. I almost had something pickpocketed when I was in France. So you've got to be really, really vigilant, very careful with this stuff. Always carry a copy of all your documents. Just a piece of paper. It doesn't take much room. So yeah, those are really important. Additional information? Well, for detailed coverage or detailed, you can say detailed or detailed, both ways. And specific exclusions, things they refuse to cover, you'll have to consult the policy terms and conditions. It is very important if you're getting travel insurance to make sure you read all of their fine print, we call it. And it takes a while, and it's frustrating, but you need to read it.
Yes, of course, you don't want to run into the situation where you need to get some insurance coverage for a specific situation, and then they just say, oh, sorry, but that isn't covered in the policy because you did not read the fine print. This does not apply to such and such a situation or during Chinese New Year or whatever. So, yeah, you need to read all the fine details there. And so that's all about additional information. And now let's talk about the plan cost. Okay, yeah, how much does this particular policy or this plan actually cost? What do you have to pay to get this insurance? Well, TravelSafe Plus is tailored to meet your specific travel needs. In other words, it's made specifically for you and your individual travel needs. Prices start at just 859 NT dollars per person for a 5-day international trip based on the minimum coverage amount for this plan. So there's a range of prices for this policy, but this is, I guess, the most basic price, the lowest price, $8.59 per person, and that's just for a 5-day international trip. So if you're going someplace for longer, I assume the price will be higher.
I think it's pretty cheap, but usually it's $8.59 per day per person. But you'll want to check into all of this stuff. Costs vary by destination, of course. Some places are just more expensive to travel to than others. Trip length counts, how long you'll be gone. And then you can select additional coverage, and that is what an add-on is, something extra that other people might not necessarily want. Maybe you have a dog, maybe you have a pet. That'll be an add-on. So 24-hour online enrollment is available. If you enroll in something, you sign up for it. Here, this is available online. They have a website that you can go to. You can sign up for TravelSafe insurance quickly and conveniently online anytime you want because websites are always up. You don't have to talk to someone. You can get a quote. I've been to those kind of sites where I'll tell them what I want, and then I'll get a quote that comes up automatically through AI. I'm sure they have a system that's working in the background that tells me how much I can expect to pay. That's very handy and convenient. And then you can secure your coverage within minutes by probably putting in your credit card information.
Right. And of course, it's always best to talk to an agent face-to-face. That's what I like to do. So that if you have any questions, you can come up with them and ask away, fire away with those questions, and they'll answer your questions happily with a smile. Okay, so there's the policy there. If you're going traveling overseas, it's the policy or the plan from TravelSafe Insurance. So maybe that's an attractive policy for a lot of people out there, and it's probably similar to other policies that you could buy from various insurance companies here in Taiwan if you're planning to travel overseas. Okay, we're at the end of our explanation for today. Let's turn things over to our Chinese teacher now before we come back with some discussion questions.
听众朋友大家好，我是 Anna。我们昨天邀请到了 Phoebe 来跟我们分享一下她的 travel insurance， 她都买足买好耶，因为她去过30多个国家。所以我们今天要带大家看一下这个 travel insurance， 这个旅游保险大概能够长什么样子。在这个框框当中啊，也就是我们今天的这个保单当中，在一开始就告诉我们，如果我们要去旅行的话，其实最好还是要买一个保险会比较好。因为呢，我们今天看的这张保单会提供了很多样的全面的一些意外事件的保险，这样子呢，我们就可以安心的享受旅程。我们在进入这个保单的这个承保范围之前先特别注意到的是第二句的地方。第二句在第一段这个第二句我们把这个 extensive coverage 抓出来。我们昨天说保险的这个承保的范围用的是 coverage 嘛，那前面如果说是很全面的，这个也有保那个也有保，项目很多，这个就是 extensive， 就是很广泛的意思。extensive 它的动词原形是 extend extend 它就有延伸的意思。当然这些 coverage 呢都要包含一些我们本来意料之外的事情嘛，就没有计划当中的，比如说 food poisoning delay 等等之类 lost luggage 等等。那这些意外的事件当然对我们来说是 accident， 可保单当中同样这句话就提到是叫做 unforeseen events。 event 就是一种很特别的事，它也有比赛的意思，就是不是我们日常生活当中规划时，是比较特别提出来的，都可以叫做一个 event。 可前面呢是我们没有办法预见的 unforeseen， for 在这边指的是之前，在发生之前的意思，所以就意外事件啦。所以总而言之呢，逗点之后的 allowing， 假设我们不要去分析它到底是省略了什么连接词还是汇聚的省略，总而言之这样看过去就不影响我们的这个阅读的内容嘛，的理解的能力，就允许我们大家可以让我们的 travels 可以 worry free， 免于担忧咯。如果你真的要去纠结的话呢，逗点之后这个 allowing 其实是要把它还原成为 which allows 是比较好的。根据文意，这里的 which 呢当然指的就是前面的这边提到的我们要保险买好啦，然后才可以防止一些意外事件啦。所以我们的保单大概包括什么东西呢？下面有6点哦。第一点提到的是 accidental death， 如果是意外死亡 and 另外一个字是什么？ dismemberment 这个字如果你去查，它居然有肢解的意思耶。肢解这听起来很恐怖，对不对？没有啦，在保单当中它指的就是失能啦。失能的意思可能就是一些比较永久性的一些残障然后智障这样子，所以用 dismemberment 的这个字。好，不过在这个第一点这个地方承保范围后面呢有简化的关系子句，我们把 severe accidents 也就是我们刚刚冒号之前这2件事情，这里可以把它抓出来， 后面的 resulting 跟句尾可以左右括号哦。当然 resulting 就是一个冠带 which 或者是 that 跟动词 result 做的简化。好，接下来的第二点呢，我们就要看除了这个很严重的之外，大部分都是疾病啦或突然受伤嘛，就是要送去医院啊，要治疗。所以第二点谈到的是 medical treatment 医疗的治疗。那如果说在海外需要看医生就医啊住院啊，这个地方旅游保险也是很重要的。不过我们在这里呢就要特别注意一下，我们刚刚说的生病啦 illnesses 或者是受伤 injuries， 它有讲到一个东西，就是要排除掉 epidemics 要排除掉疫情。中文说不包含疫情哦，如果你突然得了什么 COVID-19 啊，或者什么特别的疫情，这个没有做在承保的范围里面。那这里的 excluding 就可以特别抓出来，相对于它我们比较熟悉的是 including including。 如果你去查的话， including 常常字典都直接把它翻成是介系词了，后面直接加一个受词。那这里的 excluding的 exclude 有排除在外的意思，所以不包含 epidemics 哦，不包含疫情哦，但是有包含 transportation plus 加，但是有包含 transportation 如果要转送到医疗机构的这些这个交通费用，这个是第二点。第三点就是有时候啊，我们的行程可能会去取消了，可是这个取消并不是因为班机取消，是因为可能我们自己有一些私人的原因，例如在这边提到的是，假设亲属过世的话，可能就没有办法去。那这个时候你已经付了机票钱怎么办呢？你已经有一些花费怎么办呢？那这些花费啊，就由保险公司帮你去付。这个概念就是第三点后面冒号的 reimbursement， 中文叫做所谓的报销。报销就这个意思，就是我已经付了，但是我不行得到这个还款，那保险公司就给我已经付出，这个叫做 reimbursement。 所以我们刚刚说这一些消费啊，这些旅费啊，或者是所谓这些机票钱不能够被退回嘛，在后面 non-refundable expenses， 这就是没有办法退回的一些花费。好，那如果说真的第四点进到班机有一些延误的时候，可不可以这个理赔呢？因为他我这个出国的这个时间有被耽误到，有没有呢？可以理赔耶。如果第四点的 flight delay 也是可以获得赔偿，这个赔偿啊 compensation 它是用钱来给你哦，每4个小时就付你5000块，而且是至少5000块，这是在这张保单上面写的啦吼。每一张保单要有多少的赔偿，这是要看保单的条款啊，跟你付的保费这样子。可是如果说你的班机一直延误怎么办呢？不好意思，它这边有一个限制哦，在第4点逗点之后，他说 up to 2 claims。 claim 在这边就不是宣称咯，而是宣称说我的班机延误，这个就是所谓的索赔的意思啦。最多2次的索赔 per insurance period， 在1次的保险期间。 per 这个字每一如何如何，它的前面通常都会特别讲单位数字，比如说每一次的保险给付，每一次你投保 up to 2 claims， 就最多2次，所以它跟 every 的概念是不同的哦。 every 其实指的是全体的意思啦。好，那接着第5个，这样就是像是行李延误啊，或者是遗失啊，这个也会得到 compensation。 第6点的旅行文件遗失，哇，这很重要耶。例如说像 passport 你的护照啊 visa 你的这些签证如果遗失啊被盗的话，哇，这个时候也会有理赔。好，是还不错。当然还会有一些其他的资讯，因为还会有很详细的说明啦。那这些很详细的说明呢，在接下来的 additional information 到底要看哪里呢？你要看你 policy terms conditions。 这边有个动词我们特别抓出来 consult。 consult 这个字啊，通常都是咨询专业，比如说咨询药师 或者我们去看医生，那个看其实就是咨询医生对我们的一个疾病啊，或者是什么不舒服的一些专业的意见，这个动作都叫做 consult。 那当然我们在这边翻成所谓的参阅的意思。那么接下来的方案费用呢，基本上就是要跟每一个人去的旅游的地点跟活动都会不同，所以它是一个量身打造的概念。量身打造在英文当中有这个字诶，就在 plan cost 这个地方第一句中间动词 tailor。tailor 本来是裁缝师的意思，以前的裁缝师真的是量你的身体，帮你做你的衣服，所以 tailor 这个字在英文当中就会有量身打造的意思。好，最重要的是这张保单啊，很厉害哦，它24小时都可以线上投保，在最下面这个投保的 enrollment， 这字有没有觉得很眼熟？像我们开学了，我们去注册有没有？我们要报到了，跟学校报到注册，这个字也是 enrollment， 这是这张保单很方便的地方。好，所以接下来呢，我们就要做个结尾，因为其实昨天跟今天我们谈了很重要的东西，就是大家都喜欢去旅游，也经常的旅游，但是记得旅游之前要买好 insurance， travel insurance。 我是安娜，我们下次见。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. We're going to take a look at our discussion questions, and Tom and I will be trying to answer these. Here's the first one, Tom. Do you believe the coverage offered by TravelSafe Plus meets the needs of most travelers? Why or why not?
Well, I think the answer to that question is yes. It does seem to cover most situations, but there may be some other particular situations that maybe the policy does not cover. Maybe if you're involved in, say, high danger activities like mountain climbing or bungee jumping or base jumping or scuba diving, maybe they need to have some additional information regarding that. Or maybe they need to have some additional information regarding whether or not the trip is for business or for pleasure. Maybe if you go to Boston to attend some kind of exhibition and your client kind of cheats you out of your product or whatever, yeah, would the insurance cover that? Would the insurance cover losing money in a business deal? Probably not, but it'd be kind of nice if it did.
Wouldn't that be nice? No. One thing I thought of as a musician is musical instruments. Sometimes I'll board a plane and I'll see a big cello in one of the seats. And I'll think, wow, you have to buy a ticket for the cello. I wonder what kind of insurance they can get for that because those instruments are so expensive. The people traveling with their instruments are usually professional musicians. Guitars, not so much. But things like cellos and flutes and violins, if they're damaged through travel, wow, they would definitely need some reimbursement. They would probably have to have some special insurance company who would be willing to cover that, though. And of course, I thought about pets. Pets, you'll want to make sure that you have some travel insurance for a dog or a cat that you take along.
Okay, let's move on now to the next question here. If you were to design your own travel insurance plan, what features would it include and why?
Well, I think this covers just about everything for me. I would probably want better coverage if my flight is delayed. That's my big beef, my big complaint these days. I hate flight delays. And sometimes, you know, it's kind of a scary delay because there's something wrong with the plane. And I think, oh, take your time. I don't want to get on that plane and go to my death either. So, yeah, those things I don't mind so much. But when it's just delayed by weather and people start getting upset and the airports are packed, it's not a fun place to be. I hate traveling.
Me too. I don't like traveling myself, although I like being where I'm going, but I don't like the process. And in this particular case, to answer this question, I would like to know if the insurance policy covers medications. Okay, I have a couple of medical concerns, and if I were to lose my medications when I'm traveling or I run out of them or something like that, or if I had to stay in a certain place longer.
Or your baggage was stolen and it was inside.
Yeah, all my medications were inside. Yeah, would the travel insurance cover that? Because if you travel to places, again, like the United States, and you try to get those medications, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So hopefully the insurance policy will cover a situation like that. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. We wish you all happy travels. And if you want more content, check us out on Facebook and YouTube to help improve with your listening comprehension ability. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
And I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Happy travels.